What's up, everyone? This is Ronnie coming to you today from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Just doing a little church by myself tonight. Guess we're having church study. But hope everyone is doing well. Let me just check to make sure this puppy's going live. Yes. Hope everybody is doing well. Do I sound okay? Do you hear my voice? What's up, people in the chat? We got Rudy, Lonnie Garage Flips, Glenn, got Swamp Picker, 95472 Pickers. They're in California. Walk-in Picker, ABC of Reselling, some different names. Hope everybody is doing well. Guess I sound good. How is everybody's week going? I know my week has been really good. Last week was better, but this week has been pretty solid. Last week of what was last month? February? Yeah, last week of February, I wound up doing like $4,200 in the last week, which was crazy. This month started off really well, but like this weekend was non-existent for me. It was pretty crappy. I think we wind up doing not much because I had like 4 returns, which killed whatever money I made over the weekend. So it was kind of crappy. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday was pretty weak, especially Saturday and Sunday. But every other day has been fairly well. I think we're at about $2,100 the last 7 days. It's just where I'd like to be a little higher, but 21, I'll take it. Take it any week. Can't complain about that. Just before we went live, we had a buyer buy 5 different items from me. Golf shirts, 4 golf shirts and something else. 2 of them were pretty cheap because I've been having them for like a year plus, trying to get rid of them. They're local golf shirts. So he bought 4 of them. He lives about 2 towns over. He wanted to meet in person and do it outside of eBay, but I'm not about to risk my account in that. And just I'm busy. I don't have time to meet up with you. You'll get your stuff in one day. Pay. I'll send it to you. I'll give you a discount on the shipping. I had someone last week too. They bought a suit and 2 sport coats from me, and they lived maybe less than an hour away. And then they wind up returning 2 of the sport coats. So it was like, man, so close. What's up, Pensacola Picker? So how has everybody else's week been? Hope everybody is well. I'm by myself tonight. Usually I have Chadwick, but Golden Finger Picker, but he's recovering. You know, he's learning he can't go all out like he used to. He had his weekend with the boys, and he's recovering. My voice is a little scratchy. But how is everybody in the chat? Well, I'm not really sure where we're going to go with this tonight. I really don't have a topic. I didn't really think about it too much, all that much. But I can talk about a few different things because, you know, it's what we do over here. One question I get a lot, and I didn't notice this till the other day, is wife making noise. But if you want notifications, next to the subscribe button, there's a little bell. You press that, it will notificate you however which way you want to on your phone or your email. I think it sends you notifications. So when we go live or when I put up a new show, and I've done that recently with a few different people that I like to watch their videos, like the Crazy Picker Life and so on and so forth, because I like watching their things. Yeah. But another question we get a lot of time is profit. And, how much profit do we really make on our online business? And I'm going to log into Outright real quick. And because I was just doing this the other day, we had taxes done and everything like that. Dreadful, but got taxes done. I hate taxes. Hate anything to do with that. It's too time consuming. It's why it's something that I outsource to somebody else. Let's see here. Looking at my overview here. And last month we did, with shipping and everything on eBay, we did $11,382.12. And I believe everything is categorized. Yes, everything is categorized. So we made, let me see here. Let's go down to expenses. For February, we had $554 in returns. So actually the returns bring your sales down. They brought them down to $10,681. Let me see here. Fees like WorthPoint and Outright, and shipping supplies like tape and stuff I had to get, came out to $160. I bought a lot of stuff that we needed. eBay fees was $973. Cost of inventory was actually pretty low. I didn't buy much last month, I guess. $670. Actually, yeah, last month was pretty light. We didn't do a lot. As in January, our inventory cost was actually almost $2,200. Meals and entertainment, $136. Dry cleaning, $25. PayPal fees, $370. Shipping costs was $1,100. I don't have the warehouse in there. The warehouse was, storage units, $320. So get a good idea of what we are. Its profit was around $7,000 for the month, which is actually better than what we have been doing. But a lot of that is because we didn't buy a lot of inventory, and it was a really good month. Kind of just had a lot of stuff and selling a lot of stuff. Our shipping costs versus what we took in, we actually made about $140 on shipping, so not bad. People want to talk about profit. That's the profit right there. Pretty easy, pretty simple. But I left the chat for a few minutes because I was checking that out. What's up, Go?
Hello.
Oh, that's all you want to say?
Hi, everybody.
No, somebody who wants to just stare at me but doesn't want to be on the show.
Oh.
We have big news coming soon about the channel and everything. I'm saying soon, not today.
Not today.
Not today. I tried getting you on today, but you're too. What's up, bro? You tired today?
Yeah.
Busy day?
Taking picture.
Taking pictures.
A lot of pictures today.
She took pictures, but I actually got 30 drafts done today. Only 30. I got about another 15, 20 things I got to do, but not bad. It's usually a good time of my good time. So what time are we going to go live this week?
What time what?
What time are we going to do it this week?
The show?
We're gonna talk about our
surprise.
Yeah, surprise, whatever you want to call it.
Cha-cha-cha-cha. They say what day and what time.
What day and what time? I don't think I know. It's not going to be Friday night.
Okay. No Friday night.
All right, Gucci. But see if there's anything in the comments here. Alex had a question. New have built up some inventory, suits, board games, books, ties, etc. I want to buy all of my shipping supplies first. Any recommendations? Do you just go Uline? No, I would not go to Uline. You can get all the boxes you need for the most part right from the United States Postal Service website. You know, they have plenty of boxes you can order free of charge, and I would start there. I mean, I would not go out and buy any boxes. I had to buy some bigger boxes for Amazon stuff, and we've been selling a lot of larger things. I sold a bunch of signs over the last few weeks. I've sold a suitcase the other day. So I have to have a lot of larger boxes, like 20 by 20 by 20, and so on and so forth. So those I either get at U-Haul or like Staples, because I like the nicer, tougher boxes. You know, for shipping stuff and things like that. But and then we had another sign that I sold on Facebook that I had actually got a TV box, ship it out. Uh, but I would start there. I mean, tape and stuff like that. Tape you can buy basically anywhere. It just depends on the quality of tape you want. I don't really like the eBay quality tape. I mean, and my tape I get right here is from Staples. I get these rolls and they're clear and they're really, I mean, I love this tape. And I think it's like maybe $40 for 6 of these. But they're the bigger rolls, they're not the smaller rolls. These last a few months and we ship out 200 plus items, so probably between 180, 200 items a month. And you can get this tape off of eBay, or if you have a store, you get the credits every so often. But I really don't like this tape. It's thin. It's just. Ugh. Oh boy, Faded Glory King. You gotta love your. It's going down. Yeah, Gretchen went back to watching her novella with her mommy. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the first place I would go for boxes in the United States Postal Service. Tape, I get my tape from Staples. I mean, you can get your tape anyway. You can get your tape off of eBay, Amazon. I don't think it matters. You'll find a place that you like the price of the tape. I mean, I'll pay extra for good tape. I'm not gonna like buy the cheapest tapes possible because it's gonna make my life a nightmare. Um, you know, what else? I don't know. That's about it for that. I like to buy things in a lot of bulk. Like if I buy my bags or my poly bags online for like first class stuff, I'll buy 1,000 at a time, and that way I just have them. You know, when I get to the last like 100 of them, I order new ones, and that way I'm always up. It's kind of harder. Is who pregnant? No, no, no. That's not the surprise. That's funny. Yeah, I think she would probably be on here, but her mom's still here, so it's kind of like flip flops all day. That was the most stupidest comment I've ever heard. I'm not even going to reply to that comment because accountant has nothing to do with half the stuff these people talk about. I just showed my account, just talked about it. It's pretty easy, cut and dry. Uh, No, I just go to the U-Haul for the bigger, larger boxes because they have nice boxes. Um, Rudy loves eBay tape. Who knew? Who knew? And then other people say eBay tape sucks. I agree with you. eBay tape sucks. Here's a question: 7-day listings or 30 days? What's your opinion? You know what? I like 30 days. I tried 10 days. Like when eBay gave you those things. I did this a few different times where eBay's like, "Oh, here's, extra 2,000 listings." I would change it this 10 days. I figured 10 days was a lot better. I tried 7 days. I tried 10 days. Um, I do best with 30 days because I just think it works. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work with 7 or 10. I think that's not bad either. I think there's a few people that do like 10 days. I think like Crazy Picker Life, I think they said for their camera store they do 10 days. Or was that in their general merchandise store, the camera store? One of the two stores, I think they said they did 7 or 10-day listings, which it may work. I'm probably going to upgrade to a what do you call it, the anchor store, get more listings. I could actually do that and actually really check on it and see how it does and see if it increased my sales. Visibility helps, but if you're constantly relisting your stuff, I don't know, people, you lose a few of the watchers and stuff over time. Some things don't sell anyway. I had two things in today that had 15 watchers on them, and neither one of them sold. They were pretty nice, two pretty nice high dollar items. So I was like, okay, don't want them. Okay, but yeah, I like 30 days. But we may try something else. We've tried it in the past; it didn't work, but it doesn't deter us from not trying it again. You know. You know what? I don't like using the eBay tape for international orders. I think it's like kind of like a red flag that I don't know. I think anything that tries to um, anybody might walk off with a project. I mean, with a something international orders, I will not try to give any idea what's in that package for the most part. Do whatever I want. Chad can make it tonight. He's not feeling well. Basically, he's recovering from his weekend. Uh, do you buy all your clothes at thrift stores? No. We get a lot of clothes from very different. I mean, this time of year, yeah, it's a lot of thrift stores, and estate sales for the most part. But once summer comes, yard sales become a good way to source for stuff. Flea markets, we do buy off of eBay, we buy off of Craigslist, OfferUp. I used to run an ad asking, basically wanted higher end clothing for boutique, and people used to contact us that way. I haven't done it recently, but a lot of our stuff does come from either thrift stores or from estate sales, but we do get a lot of stuff from Marshalls and TJ Maxx too. As I think about 20 to 25% of my store is new and tag stuff, and a lot of that stuff is from Marshalls. I just like getting multiples of things. If you can get a good price, I mean, I have that rule. It has to make me at least 3 times my money for me to buy it. For the most part, there's some like factors to that, but I got to make at least 3 times my money, or it's not going to work out for me. And most of my stuff is probably 5 to 10 times for the most part. But estate sales is a great place to get stuff. You just have to go to all the estate sales in your area, and you'll get used to what companies do well with you and what ones don't. Which ones actually charge crazy prices and which ones basically blow stuff out. And it depends. Some of them have eBay stores. Some of them have uh, consignment stores. So if they don't sell it at whatever price they're going to get, they're gonna put it in. They can sell it themselves and still split that money with with the with the seller of that product. So you do have to keep that in mind with some of these stores. We have great relations with a lot of them to where if we buy more than enough stuff, they start knocking down the price. And I'm talking about even in the first 30 minutes of a sale, we'll get better prices because clothing is a harder thing to get rid of. Clothing is that one thing that people don't usually source from estate sales. There's very few people that do it, and it could be good margins. When you write off miles, is it round trip? Yes, it's round trip. I go up, I go down, round trip. I mean, technically, my truck is a business vehicle. I bought it for business. I can write off. I think it's 100% of the mileage if I wanted to on that vehicle. Because almost every time I do leave the house, because the Goodwill is very close. The Goodwill gets stopped out of the Salvation Army, which is not far from our house. Unfortunately, we don't have any other thrift store for at least a half-hour drive, which kind of sucks. I mean, large thrift store like Savers or those kind of stores. Let me see. Yeah, D Skinner, I think he does do that. I'm not. I just don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I mean, I run sales probably pretty often, at least all the time, and I keep it basically one thing, 20%. I run them usually 3 or 4 days at a time, length, and they sell. And then I'll go sometime without running a sale, and my nose itch. I want to itch my nose. And I go some sales, and it's fun when things get listed right away, and there's no sale on it, and they sell right away. It's like, yeah. I've been having good luck with shorter sales, like 24 hours. How long do you put your? Oh, I already mentioned that for the most part. Usually 3 or 4 days at a time works best for me. I'm not sure what you're asking, Adam. I got a free auction listings. I really don't want to do a lot of auctions. Newbie question. How can I require quick 2-day payment? I can't find that info anywhere. I don't think there's any way to require. People are going to pay whenever they want to pay. Some people pay right away. Some people don't. You just open a, after 2 days, you can open a unpaid item dispute thingy and wait it out 4 days. And then if they don't pay a total of 6 days, you can relist it. I have one guy now that's been telling me for like 4 days now, I'm going to pay in 2 days. 2 days came, he writes me a message. I'm going to pay in 2 days. And unfortunately, this pair of shoes, I've sold it I've sold it 3 times in the last like 6 weeks. I don't know what it is. All international too. Australia, Indonesia, and I think like maybe Japan. And it's weird that nobody's paying for that damn pair of Bali shoes. It's like, yo, pay up. What's wrong with you? Shoes just don't want to sell. But hey, got 140 people watching live. Pretty cool. Thank you all for coming out and watching me psycho babble about God knows what. But it's really cool. Let me see here. I'm finally done crunching numbers with my taxes now. I need to bring this to my CPA. Do you know anybody to recommend? I'm in South Florida. I do not know anybody in South Florida to recommend. maybe you can touch base with some other resellers, maybe in South Florida and some of the groups, and maybe they can steer you in a direction of who to help out. I know I've been using the same lady I've been using for the last maybe like 12 years, at least 15 years. She's been doing my taxes. I learned the hard way not doing my taxes 1 year and paying some, no, 2 years in a row, not paying some ridiculous um, fees because I owed money. And they wind up taking it out of my paycheck and that whole different thing. I mean, technically was not my fault. We're not going to really get into into what happened there, but just say it was a messed up situation where I thought something was taken care of and it wasn't. Um, but at the end of the day, you have no one to blame but yourself because you're responsible. Rudy, I think, left. I haven't seen Rudy's comments in a while. Rudy's an early to bed guy. He's probably going to bed here pretty shortly. And Square Deal Guy, I have not heard from Square Deal Guy. I mean, I do talk to him probably every few weeks, but I've not talked to him all that much. How do you track miles? Where was I? How do you track miles for deductions? I mean, you could hit the trip reset button on the dash. You can do it that way. That way, when you start, you hit it, and then when you go back, there's apps on your phone. I think one's like Mile ID or something like that. Maybe somebody in the chat knows about it exactly. And it's basically the same thing. You hit the button and it projects, and then you hit the button when you come home, I believe. I don't do it. I just do it the old-fashioned way with tracking the miles, where they hitting the thing. I have a notepad. I write them down in. Well, you don't see it there. It's on the other side. And basically, I add it up and add them in to my mileage thingy. The mileage thingy was kind of low because I haven't been sauced. I didn't sauce too much last month. Only went out a few different times. I don't know. Had the mother-in-law here. Took it easy. And eBay sales were really good. When you're at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, do you check prices on eBay or you know what you're looking for? I really when I go there, I go for the clearance stuff, and the clearance section is not very big most of the time. So, there's certain things there, and you'll know most of the brands. And once you get really into this and started, you'll figure out what brands there are, what brands do good. I look up stuff all the time because there's things that I don't run across or I don't necessarily know. And new stuff sells better than used stuff. So, I mean, if I sell something consistently, say for $30, $35, and they got it for $15 on clearance, I'm thinking, well, maybe I can get 50 or 60 for that. I'll look that item up, especially if they have 4 or 5 of them, because now I'm investing a little bit more money in something. I want to see how fast something sells and see actually how it moves. So I'm going to investigate a little bit. I mean, with smartphones nowadays, I mean, it's so easy to look stuff up. I mean, and get an idea very quick on eBay. I mean, cell phones make this business so much easier. I mean, I guess we've always had cell phones and the eBay app for the most part, but I mean, I know my first year I didn't look nothing up for the most part. Because the apps did not work as well as they did now. So going back like 4 years ago, it was a lot different using these apps. Sometimes you'd have to go actually to like www.ebay.com, and it's okay, but you waste too much time. And since I was doing it only part-time, I had 3 other incomes if you include my wife's job and my jobs. eBay was just really a learning experience for the first year and seeing if I could really make some money. And I did really well. So I mean, it's one of those things. Ronnie, any thoughts on buying pallets? I really don't know. I've looked into buying pallets when we had the warehouse. I really don't have the space or anything. We could have them delivered to our storage unit. They do have forklift service there. So if I really wanted to buy pallets, they could have them delivered there. I mean, the problem is I'm just not set up to do pallets in any way. So if you're set up and you had the space, we were looking at some places, but we decided to go in a different direction. Um, you know, our old place came available actually not too long ago. We knew it was going to sell. That's part of the reason why we left. And he actually was selling both units, the one unit we had and the other unit. So it would have doubled our square foot. You remember old warehouse videos, would have been about 2,200 square feet. But basically, he wanted $220,000, which for the unit, no bathroom, for what work it needed done, I could not justify that money. Pensacola Picker, I don't do request and immediate payment because I charge shipping. And a lot of times, like I've had four, maybe multiple sellers over the last few days contact me about shipping rates because they wanted to buy multiple items from my store. I just had a guy this afternoon or hour before we went live buy 5 shirts from me. So I'll change some of the shipping on them before they pay, because if they paid, sometimes they're going to pay a huge amount of shipping and then I have to refund them. And I just don't like doing that. So, and I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Um, but, I mean, I'm buying, I mean, I don't do the immediate payment thing. I don't know. Maybe it's wrong that I don't do it, but I get, maybe if I'm lucky, one buyer a month. I mean, you're talking like a 0.5%, I guess. Uh, yeah, can hit the like button. Why not? Hit the dislike button too. I really don't care. It's interaction one way or the other. Uh, Mike, that mink jacket I asked you about is up to 305 now. 2 buyers are completing hard for it. That's pretty cool. I knew nothing. And I'm not gonna act like Mike asked me a question about a mink jacket, and I've basically said, "Hey, buddy, I'm sorry. I don't know nothing about any kind of furs whatsoever. I just have no idea." And I'm not gonna act like I do and steer anybody in the wrong direction. I mean, that's one thing that scares the crap out of me when I'm in a store. I do not like any of those um, animal kind of things or anything like that. Just not my thing. Uh, the crazy cards, you diversify some yet. There are, wait, they have got to be some killer deals on other things beside clothing where you live. Lamborghini dealership just a couple miles from your house. I mean, I sell a bunch of different things, but I kind of look for clothing. It's what I know most about. I mean, we sold a bunch of signs off of eBay. There's a lot of things, clothing, a lot of on non-clothing items go. A lot of stuff goes to Amazon. A lot of stuff gets sold on Craigslist or Facebook groups. If it's not clothing, because I can get the same amount of money. I don't have to deal with the fees. I don't have to deal with the shipping. I sell that stuff to somebody. I don't have to see it again. So that's how a lot of that stuff. I don't like shipping larger things too, but we sold a few signs last month on eBay. We sold some other things. I do have another eBay store which we sell some things that are not clothing on also. Um, that hat says "Live Simple." It's what it says. Live simple. It's a Patagonia hat. My other my other hat, Patagonia hat, which you can kind of see the nasty sweat stain on there. And then my coolest new hat right here, Polo Sport. Oh, Polo Sport hat. This hat I thought was pretty cool. I got this hat a while ago, and the first thing I thought it was the Polo Bear, but it's not. It's just Atlanta Braves, but it has like that black watch Titan pattern to it, plaid. This hat's made by American Needle. They make pretty decent snapback hats. Some are some good money. But let me see here. But if you're making so much money selling clothing, you don't have to do it. The other day I was actually supposed to buy a bunch of Ducati motorcycle parts from somebody on Craigslist, and they flaked out twice on me. I hate people that flake out. But that's what happens when you're dealing with like Craigslist and stuff like that. You constantly gotta deal with people that flake. Let me see. Speaking of that, is there a way to have sold listings set as a default when you're searching in a store, or do you have to search and then go to the filter every time? Yeah, you have. I believe you have to use the filter every time. There's no way just to go straight to solds. But I mean, it's pretty simple. You're talking about seconds, really. We are currently in what we are referred to as the golden age of reselling. Maybe. I would think maybe the early 2000s maybe were the golden age. Because there was more, you could sell anything and everything, and it seemed like everything went for more money because it was just the new factor. The economy was rocking and rolling and everything like that. People were willing to spend more money. I mean, there was times where I would sell $15,000 of sports cards in 1 month. Buy cards, buy cases of cards, break the packs, sell the cards. Then that stuff just became, I lost interest in it, I guess is the best way to say it. Liquidating pallets are a pain. You end up with a lot left over. I'm assuming that's probably the same thing as like storage units. I kind of like the idea of storage units, but when I think of the work involved in moving stuff and getting rid of the junk, it kind of just changes my whole outlook on it. And it doesn't help. I mean, we're a New England area, it's cold here in the winter. I mean, unfortunately, last week it was really nice. It was like 60 degrees for about a week, 50s, 60s. Then this weekend it was like 12 degrees Sunday morning when I woke up. I was outside. I was like 12. Went outside in shorts and my Crocs, no socks on. I was freezing. Not really the best idea. But Mr. Golden Finger Picker made it. How are you, brother? Hope all is well. Hope you're doing better. I act like I haven't talked to you or anything. How many chitin clothing items have you found to date? Also, have you any brands on your bucket list? Good question, Josh. I found a tie, a suit, a sport coat, 2 shirts maybe. Chitin's a very hard brand to find. I think I found more. No, I found 3 shirts. I found 2 at the same place in one a while ago. It's not a brand I come across very often. And half the time I've come across this brand, it's been damaged. And I mean, I just came across 2 suits in the last few, this year so far, maybe January. in February, early February, we came across, but they were just holed up big time. One of them being a tuxedo, and there were just so many holes in them. But have come across. I mean, you got to figure 5 pieces over or 6 pieces over 4 years is not really that great. Um, I guess when it comes to bucket list, I mean, I found most everything. I found Chanel. I found Tom Ford piece. Um, one piece. I mean, I'd like to find more. I found only a shirt. Um, I guess it comes down to pieces like the Pendleton sweater from the Big Lebowski, that one, or maybe some of the really rare, hard to find Polo Ralph Lauren stuff. There's other stuff I would love to find. Pair of Biggie Levi jeans. I haven't found one of those yet. I mean, those are probably the things that come to the top of my head. Off the top, I mean, I've found most likely probably any brand that I can think of. For the most part, I mean, there's probably 1 or 2 brands I've not found, like Supreme. I've never found anything Supreme that's been real. I guess that's a brand that I would like to see something, find something of. That's on the list. There's a lot of newer brands, that I haven't found anything. I mean, it'd be cool to find it, but it's not like one of those things where I have to find it. Maybe some game worn, actually, like football jersey or baseball jersey or something like that. You always see sometimes somebody's donating someone's stuff, and hey, there's their, father's basketball jersey that he wore, in NBA basketball. That would be pretty cool, I think. Come across that. Can you pack your shipments in a clear plastic? Good question. Not really sure. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want anybody to know what's in my package. Yeah, Turtle Trader. It is amazing how many brick and mortar stores are closing or have died off. I mean, you do see it. Macy's has closed. Sears is having issues. Kmart's having issues and have closed many stores. J.C. Penney's. I can't remember the last time I seen a J.C. Penney's. I mean, online sales is where it's going. It's where a lot of it's moving. It hasn't went there yet. I mean, look at the electronic stores. A lot of those places, they're like Comp USA and what was the other electronic store they had there for a while? I can't even think about it. But I'm kind of behind in the chat here because I'm scrolling through, but I'm just behind. Ronnie, if you were to give a non-clothing seller one clothing item to look for at yard sales, what would it be? I don't know, garage flips. One item, like just one item, one brand? Good question. I think it's a little half, a little. I don't know. Good question. Workout gear. Vintage champion jerseys. Basketball jerseys. Hunting gear. You live in Louisiana. Look for hunting and outdoor brands. I would think that there would be a lot of those in Louisiana. Any info on a vintage Brioni houndstooth with gold buttons? Can't find any comps. I would think just go by the material. What the material? If it's wool, kind of don't get too caught up trying to look for the same exact blazer. I mean, it's probably about $150, $200 somewhere, maybe $125 to $200 in there. It all depends on the size. To a bigger size, 48, 50, 52 was going to sell a lot better than a 40, 42, 44, and sell for a little bit more money. But the gold buttons do add a little bit of value to it. It's probably I'm guessing a blazer, then I can't really tell. Um, if you know me on Facebook, or in my group, Hart Pickers group, send me some pictures. I'll help you out a little bit better. What is the top 5 clothing brands that sell for you? You know what? I mean, the brands that sell well for me are the brands that you find every day that pay your bills. I mean, like Brooks Brothers, Ralph Lauren, but you have to understand what Ralph Lauren stuff to pick up. Can't pick up all of it. You got to pick up. There's so many different sub brands in there that do well. We made a video on it a while back, probably about I don't know 6 months, a year ago, that really break down the Ralph Lauren family of brands. And there's certain brands you want to stay away from. There's certain brands that you don't, for the most part. But if you're buying that stuff cheap enough, you can make money on any of it. Um, but that stuff usually sells fairly well for me. Patagonia, outside of the shirts, sell really well for me. The shirts have kind of slowed down a little bit. I mean, mm, menswear probably Brioni and Orvis. Orvis is a good brand, good bread and butter brand that sells fairly well. And they have a lot of different pieces, but the women's stuff does not sell for me. I cannot sell the women's stuff to save my life. Alex, I mean, when I was doing cards, it was because I had a interest in baseball cards for the most part and sports autographs and stuff like that. It was a hobby. Now my hobby is kind of switched to vintage advertising. And I mean, I sell that stuff all the time. I just sold a bunch of 8 signs to another dealer because I didn't want to be bothered with shipping, and I just wanted to free up some space, 'cause we have an overabundance of signs that I have to clear some of them out. They're just sitting there. Nobody's getting to use them, see them, and anything like that, so we had to move some of them along. But, since I became a full-time reseller, or since I really started doing this for business, I mean, it's been strictly for the most part. I think I started selling some baseball cards probably right around Adrian Gonzalez when he became a Red Sox. I had a bunch of his cards, and it was a good time to get rid of them. He was probably pretty good because he flopped quickly shortly after that really good season he had, and he got traded. I don't think his cards probably did that well. And I had some other cards too, like Miguel Cabrera, stuff like that. Just cards I had kicking around, but I didn't collect cards anymore. My focus changed. No different was I used to be really big into sneakers, and that changed after time too. And now that I'm older, I kind of have more money in signs and stocks. To tell you the truth, your hobbies change as you get older, and you kind of think about investing in things that there's actually value into that you can liquidate if you have to. Um, but clothing is very abundant near us. It's very lucrative business. I mean, where we are in New England, and it doesn't matter if I watch videos from like the main picker to you know um, Connecticut. They're raking and picking profits. I mean, they both do very well with men's or did men's. I don't know if they both do men's clothes, but they've done it. They found the same stuff I would find. And there's like Valley Picker in Massachusetts here. I mean, we find that same stuff all the time. I mean, throughout Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, I found good stuff. Even in Western New York, and I know most of the people that watch my video in Western New York feel like you're bullshitting. You may find shit in Western New York, but I get lucky whenever I'm there. Pensacola Picker, I've never found any pair of Biggie jeans. They're on the list. They're on the bucket list. Any suggestions photographing plus size clothing? I only have a regular size mannequin. I would suggest maybe if they don't look good on a mannequin, do a flat lay. Get a nice clean background on the floor and just take pictures. I mean, it works. I just make sure it wasn't a dirty floor or anything like that. People do it all the time. I mean, Nicole State does a nice flat lay with looks like a nice furry rug or carpet or whatever she's got, blanket, and she does it. I mean, as long as the pictures look clean, it's good. I don't think you'll be good. How you think you would faint? I would have a hard problem if it was my size to give it up. Probably. There's a few pieces of clothing that if they were in my size, I would really have a hard time. No, not really. The money's too good. Oh, I remember, I mean, people talking about, when the stores just people go hate going out shopping. I just remember, going to the mall when I was a kid. It was like that place to go all the time. It was crazy. But, I think prices in the malls are just too expensive. I think over the last probably 8, 9 years, people have gotten a lot cheaper with how they buy, and their spending since everything kind of blew up with the housing market. Um, which brands most people get their stuff at the Bass Pro Shops? I mean, outdoor brands like Patagonia. What's the other brand? I just listed a jacket the other day. Mountain Hardware, I listed, does well. I'm trying to think of the brand. I just listed a jacket. Oh man, it sucks getting old. That's what happens when you get old. Salomon, Marmot does fairly decent. Let's see here. Arterix is a great brand if you ever come across it. Some Under Armour does really well. I guess you consider Under Armour. I mean, some of their stuff, they have like the hunting stuff and things now. Cool is the other brand I was thinking about. Kuhi. I think it's pronounced cool. Does really well. Like I said, Orvis. It just depends on what you find in your area. Every area is going to have a certain brand or a certain store close to them that people get their stuff from. Columbia, unfortunately, does not do that great for the most part because their stuff is just cheap to begin with. I mean, I remember you used to be able to sell the PFG fishing shirts, but I mean, you could find those in stores for like $30 now. I mean, so it's brand new, so it's kind of hard. Question: what brands would you not pass up even if you found just a suit jacket only? Not talking about sport coats. You know what? The other day I picked up a Ralph Lauren Purple Label, part of a 3-piece suit, and I bought it just because I could not leave it behind in the store, and it was only $5. I wouldn't pay a lot of money for something like the only chitin thing I found, or a suit the sport coat I found was actually technically a suit coat. I had it listed for about a year. I've sold a few suit tops, just a Ralph Lauren Purple Label, but they take forever. I mean, it's one of those things I would not pay a lot of money for it. I have a few other pieces that I picked up by mistake because I'll find the jacket, and then most of the time I'll go back through the pants section to see if it got separated, and sometimes they do, and I'll pick it up. You know, it's one of those things. Sometimes you gotta look on 'em. You just don't know. But that's the one brand. I mean, Chitin probably would be the other, maybe Brioni, but outside of those, or yeah, I mean, it would have to be like those brands. It'd have to be extremely high-end brand for me to really do it. Um, you ever figure out what sells well in the Dominican Republic? Maybe send a container or hang out there for a month. I think we started doing something like that a few years ago, and you know, brands that sell really well there, we just can't make enough money to make it work. Um, Brands that do well, Tommy Hilfiger, um, what's the other brand? Nautica does really well. People love that brand. Ralph Lauren, not brands that you would think like Calvin Klein here that don't have really the greatest value do there. Banana Republic, Gap, even brands like Old Navy, they go by name recognition. Um, so if it's a name people recognize because they have a store, they're more out to buy it. The mall stores do very well and stuff like that. But if I'm going to the Dominican Republic, I'm going to relax, sit on the beach, drink rum, play dominoes, and watch naked women walk up and down the beach. I'm not going there to sell stuff. When you did, when you did do cards, did you pay to have them graded? What would you recommend on this? Thank you. When I did cards, I really got into the higher end cards. I did a lot of grading cards through PSA or through Beckett, and that's the only ones I did. I don't know how the market is now because I have not dealt with cards in about 10 years. I mean, I got married 6 years ago. I was probably out of cards at least a good 2 years before that. And that's 2 years before I met my wife. So you're talking about at least close to 10 years now. I just didn't like when they started doing some of the crazy things. Ronnie, when you were selling cards, do you sell locally or on eBay too? We sold many cars on eBay. Cars, we'd have people pick them up all the time. I mean, in my ads, I used to go and pick up people in Boston or Providence when they flew, and I didn't sell huge amounts of cars on my own. I did a lot of it for another dealership. They're online sales. They're basically what do you want to call it? They're trade-ins, and a lot of them had to be towed. A lot of people flew in, and cars had shot transmissions. People did not really pay attention to descriptions whatsoever. '80s I think the '80s were even worse than the '90s for baseball cards. The '90s, by the end of the '90s, they started to fix some of it with the serial numbered rookie cards from XPX and SP Authentic, and including autograph rookie cards and stuff like that. But then the packs of cards started getting ridiculous, like 3 cards for $10, or buy a 12 pack, a 12 box case for $400. It was ridiculous, some of the prices they were getting for stuff. I don't know. I've never listed anything Faded Glory. I have no idea. Unless I'm making like $25 off of it, I'm probably not listing it. There's mistakes I buy all the time. I bought a vintage, it's a vintage guest shirt. I picked this up for $1. It was at a Salvation Army, and they were doing that. We went in there, and they said this color, 99 cents today. So I figured I'd try it. And I know I did research on this where vintage guest stuff did well, and this was only $1. I said, "Oh, this might do well." It's a really nice Hawaiian shirt, nylon. I mean, not nylon. Yeah, nylon. Yeah, shirt. It's made in actually Jamaica of all places, but it's a really nice print to it. And I thought the button ups would have did okay, but they don't. I'll get maybe $15 out of that. But for myself, I cannot do that game plan of selling stuff. I have to get at least like 25, 30 out of it for it to be worth my time. I'm more about the quality over quantity. And it just, we have it here. I can find it here. It's one of those things. Depending on where you live, certain things you can find better, and you got to source what you find in your area. Doesn't matter if, as long as you're paying your family, that's all that matters. Uh, how do you get over inventory phobia? I see people like Nicole State go out and buy $100 of clothing and couldn't imagine how quickly the return would be. I mean, Stephanie, I mean, she gets, I mean, so much clothes and she turns it over so quick. I mean, it's building a system and actually dedicating time to it. But it's unreal how much stuff she actually sells. I mean, it's crazy. I give her my hat off to that any day. It's just she makes that money. She can get it for a price that I really can't. I don't really have outlet mirrors. I don't have really any places that have 99-cent sales. Like that one store we went into, that 99-cent thing, I picked out 3 things. Maybe I'm too picky. I don't know. I picked up 2 pair of Brooks Brothers men's dress pants for 99 cents each. I'm hoping to get about $30 for them each. But it was crazy. Maybe I'm just too picky with what I buy. I don't know. But I would think if I had that much stuff, I would probably feel overloaded. My wife would kill me. She would see that many things and have to take pictures, and she'd probably be on strike. Yeah, Filson's another great brand. So is like Willis and Geiger's vintage hunting clothing. They're actually owned, I think, by Land's End now, or they went out of business in '99. But if you can find their clothes, Willis and Geiger, it's big money for the most part. It's funny, people keep asking where Chad is. I had to fire Chad. Chad got fired. I had to kick him off the show. It's time that I spread my wings. Um, what is the impact of naming categories in my eBay store? Negative or just doesn't matter? Um, you know what? I've never made categories in my eBay store. I've seen other people do them. I've never done it, but people can do it. I don't know. Maybe I should look into it and do it and see. But I've never done it, so I can't really give too much information on it. People say it helps people find stuff in their store better. I don't have a huge amount of stuff. I mean, I do have 700 listings, 650, 700 listings. Stephen Baldwin. I don't know what you're asking, really, but it's all good. Uh, All right, let's get into the things here. I'm behind still here. Yeah, 89 upper deck, 90 leaf, 89 upper deck. That was like who was it? Ken Griffey Jr.'s rookie card. 90 leaf, probably best rookie card. Frank Thomas, I would say, probably, right? 90s. Yeah, I think so. Frank Thomas is an underrated baseball player. Yeah, I've noticed that only the striped guest T-shirts do well, or the sweatshirts that have you could get a big embroidered logo on it. They do really well. I did the research. I knew better, but I figured for a buck, like I'm gonna try it. Who cares? I'm gonna see if it's worth anything. It was one of those things. Potty Mouth is in the house. What's up, Potty Mouth? When you are sourcing, do you think there are a lot of other resellers you are competing with? My recent trip to the thrift store seems full of resellers, but I may have just been paranoid. Alex, I go into a few different local thrift stores and I run into probably three or four other resellers that I know that resell. They watch my videos, they're in my group, we talk sometimes, and guess what? I usually have stuff in my hand, they usually have stuff in their hand. It's just we all going into stores looking for different things. I don't look in the women's section. So, if I went in just looking to whatever sections I go into and I'm in my store fairly recent enough every day almost, then I know by going by the new color tags, I know where they put stuff. I can go through my store fairly quickly and I may miss something here or there, but for the most part, but I see the same people in the store every day. It's kind of funny, especially at the same times you go. They're there. Texas girl treasures what's happening. Brian the Oak Bridge picker. Potty mouth. I left menswear, went to women's wear, and I'm done. I'm back to menswear. It's easier, it gets better return. I think so. I got Bubba in the house. What's up, Mr. Sadie? If they're not asking for Chad, they're asking for Pete. Pete is on the Friday show that me and Chad do on Chad's channel, Golden Finger Pickers channel. That is that's where Chad hangs. That's where Pete hangs out with us. Trying to read here. I think I'm getting down to the end of this. D Skin and Ronnie, what should I do with my thousands of 80s and 90s sports cards? I don't know. Firewood kindling? Just depends on really just depends on the brands and what years they are. There were some different sets that did okay, like some of the Tiffany sets Tops made. They had a different color, like a glossier coating to them. They were made like sets, I think, of 5,000. Those will do a little bit better. The rookie cards from those will do a little bit better, but for the most part, I think like last I looked, 89 Tops Ken Griffey Jr. rookie cards like $4, and you could probably buy them on eBay for like 50 cents. It's kind of pretty hard. Nose picker, we are a very wasteful country. You only watch these for Ronnie's accent. That's pretty funny. Okay, I think I'm doing good. Cream, I'm doing great. I'm doing well. Barry's in the house. I almost want to say something else after. I'm not going to catch any slack for that. I'm going to pull up right there. How much do sales play a role at your local strategy? Do you wait for clothing sales on your store? I hate sale days. I hate them. Hate them. I will not go to any store on 50% off day. If I know something, if there's a sale, I do not go. I don't like the longer lines. I don't like fighting with people. I'd rather pay full price on something than get it for trying to get it for half price. I'm getting stressed out just thinking about it. Just thinking about it. How long does it take you to list the average item? I would say because most of my items I know what I'm going to sell them for. They're the same things I've already sold. I have drafts for most things, so with pictures being taken, probably 5-6 minutes to get an average listing done, and then usually I'll do like things like I'll go through all dress shirts at one time, and it's just sell similar, sell similar, sell similar. Change a few of the things around, add pictures. I'm out. I mean, I'm quick and easy. I don't leave a lot of description in there other than a few different words and measurements. Real reseller, how do you spot fake Burberry and Louis Vuitton? If you're talking about clothing, because I think every bag you would ever see at every handbag you'd ever see at a what do you want to call it? Like at a thrift store is fake. Louis Vuitton and Burberry for the most part. I mean, like it's a needle in a haystack to find a real pair. Most of the time, you can tell by the thread on the bags. They'll have like an orangey, not like orange, a yellowy, too yellow of a thread. Like the thread, it's yellowy. It's too yellow, and it feels more vinyl-y, like the leather. It doesn't feel like a leather. It feels more like vinyl because we're at so many estate sales and we're in more affluent area. We do have estate sales that have Louis Vuitton bags, so I've gotten accustomed to seeing what the real ones look like. A little bit. We bought one over the summer. I paid like 150 for it. We sold it actually on Christmas Day, I think, for like 450 or something like that, 500. But for like 6 months, that sat because I didn't want to be bothered with selling it on eBay. I was worried, even though it had the date code and everything in there. But I mean, for clothing wise, most of the time when you're listing on eBay, you can tell. I mean, there's ways to find out. And I mean, most of the time when you're listing that item, you could just put in Google like fake Louis Vuitton or versus real, and you'll get an idea because there's so many different videos, there's websites on all this kind of thing. It would only take a few minutes and you could get actually a really good education. Better than me just rambling on. Have you got any new signs lately? If you want to see my new signs that I get here and there, the best place to get that is on Instagram. Follow me at Hart Pickers. That's where I post a lot of my sign pictures. If I do pick up signs. At the moment, I thought I had a sign somewhere, but I don't. I haven't picked up a sign any recently. We were in Rhode Island and we came across a state antique store, and they had a beautiful Richfield oil sign, probably from the 30s, still in the original crate, but it was $3,200. but I want it. I don't know if I can get it, but I want it. It was a nice big sign. I seriously think at the right, you put that sign in the right auction or in front of the right people, I would think it could be a really $6,000 to $15,000 sign. I think you could double your money on that sign, if not better, due to the fact that it was probably the finest example. And if you put it in front of the right people and you have the right person that collects Richfield oil or gasoline, they're going to want that sign. That's going to be their cherry on the top of their sundae. And I think I've learned that more over collecting signs over the years, that I've leaned more towards what's the word? More towards quality. I kind of like my eBay store. I want the best looking signs now going forward. I want, I kind of think it's just better. I think it's better investment. I want investment grade signs. I don't want barn hangers as much as I used to, because I don't have a barn to hang anything on, or I would. Ronnie, what do you feel about drop shipping? Drop shipping got me to top rated seller. How do you feel about it? I hate drop shipping. I don't think drop shipping is anything great. That's my personal opinion on it. I mean, you're relying on basically selling some item that you never see or you never have possession of. I don't like it. I don't like it when someone buys something from me either, and they're drop shipping it for somebody else, and then you get stuck with the raw end of the deal when they want to return that item. And when they start giving you different addresses, oh, and don't include a shipping invoice, please, and all this kind of bullshit. I just don't like it. I think it's a flawed system. Do you use social media for eBay? I really don't. I don't use anything for eBay. I've thought about making a eBay page just for my eBay store, and then like posting up new things here and there. But you have to have time for a lot of this stuff, and it takes away from your either time sourcing, your time listing. I mean, eBay technically does they're the ones, I'm paying them. They get their freaking stuff out in front of other people. You know, any tips on getting stains out? Most of the time, it's something that has a stain. Like I just dropped off a Ralph Lauren Purple Label suit the other day, and here's the pants. Nice little pattern. It's the pattern, but the top had a stain on the breast area. I'm hoping it comes out, but a worst case scenario, I'll just sell the pants by themselves if it doesn't come out. I mean, still gonna make money. I think I paid like $10 with the Savers 30% off. So worst case scenario, I get 50 for the pants probably, but hopefully the stain will come out. Barry, I would love to see a video of one of your days at the thrift stores. Any chance it's happening? My wife ever learns how to use the GoPro camera. That's her job. She'll probably get mad at me for saying that because I'm the one who bought the camera. We've had it 2 months, and I think haven't picked it up since our trip to New York over Christmas. So, not good. All right, I'm almost here to the end. Oh, I am at the end. Let me see here. Do you feel that most people read descriptions? I hope so. If they don't, they don't. I mean, it depends. I guess if you're buying mobile, they may not read it because it's another button you have to click to see. And I think I don't know. It's a good way for people not to see it. Thought I just seen another question. As a newbie, what other YouTubers do you recommend I follow? Good question, I guess. I mean, I can tell you by people I enjoy watching right now. I know I can watch. I don't watch all her videos because she puts up a lot of videos, and I just don't have. I have to pick and choose what videos I watch on YouTube. But like Nicole State, I do watch a lot of her haul videos. It's really cool what she does. There's also Craigslist Hunter. I enjoy his videos. Golden Finger Picker, whenever he does make a video, which doesn't seem to be much these days. Let's get on that, Golden Finger. I mean, Lonnie at Garage Sale Flips, I enjoy watching his videos. The Crazy Picker Life. And if you see, they're kind of all spread over the place. I don't really like to watch too many clothing sellers, as I do clothing. It's kind of like I just don't want to watch the same people sell the same thing I want. I want to see different other things. I actually watch a lot of travel on YouTube, different travel channels and stuff like that, and I think that's cool. Ronnie, I know Dominican Republic has some designer clothes factories. They do have some factories. I wouldn't consider them designer, like Stanford. Every once in a while, you come across like some other brands, but they're usually not the greatest brands, like Andrew, Pfizer. We actually have a friend who has his own factory down there, and he actually makes his own line of clothing, and he has about probably 5 or 6 little retail shops he sells out of. Scavenger Life, I do watch them too. That's another people. Can't remember everybody off the top of my head half the time. I'm really bad at that. Yeah. But I think that's it for a while. I think I'm all set. Holy shit. We went long tonight. But I hope I did well. How did I do, everybody? Did I do good? Wow. I got 10 dislikes. Like, was I really that bad tonight? Was I really that bad? Make sure you offset them by giving me a little thumbs up here and there. That would be nice. But I gotta get going. It's late over here on the East Coast. I want to thank you all very much for coming out. Me and my wife will be making a video here soon about talking about some upcoming changes coming to our channel and everything like that. Should be fun. Not changes, I think, just things that are going to be happening in the future. I was like, what's that light thing over there? It's the telescope. I was like, what is that? But like, comment, subscribe. See you later. Have a good day, everybody.